So YouTube Rewind 2025 has arrived, and I decided that I would react to it, kind of see how all of my stats have appeared throughout the entire year. Also, what the fuck? It is already December. That is wrong. It feels wrong. 2026 is pretty much already here. This whole year has gone by way too quickly, I feel like. Anyways, throughout the year, I've watched a lot of YouTube because unfortunately there are not really any alternatives out there. So I'm taking a look at my YouTube Rewind. I'm going to see how accurate it is because apparently the entire thing was made by AI. The AI grabbed your stats and is like kind of categorizing everything. So we're about to see if this is actually accurate or if it is not accurate at all. And it's pretty much just a big waste of time. So unfortunately, I don't think I'm able to find it on the desktop version, so I'm not able to screen record it now. But of course, it's on my phone, so I will screen record it on there, and you will see that right over here. I will look at each individual category, I'll kind of give my thoughts on it, and we'll just kind of go from there. 2025 is almost over. Let's hit play on your story of the year. I explored many things this year. It looks like, yeah, all of them are pretty accurate, I feel like. A lot of it was music and games, because, I mean, that's kind of what my hyperfixations are. DIY projects right at the top. I mean, I'm not really sure. I feel like Nile Red can kind of contribute to that, because obviously a lot of the science experiments he obviously does himself. Really just gets all the parts and whatnot to actually make the experiment possible so that he is able to do that. That's probably where that's getting from. But everything else, I definitely understand why that's there. Now, my top interests. Exploring video game glitches is apparently number one. I'm not quite sure where that would come from. Now, I do think seeing different glitches in games is pretty interesting. Just kind of seeing that development process and how everything can just fuck up sometimes. I mean, hell, there's mid-card mishaps for the God of War series, for the Norse Saga. That's all kind of fucked up in a kind of awesome way, I'm not going to lie. Also, it's some real confidence to be able to, have the game be as polished as it is and be able to show, like, hey, these are all the bugs, or these are some of the bugs that we encountered during the development process. I think it's pretty cool. I feel like a lot of people should do that because, I mean, well, like I said, it's cool. Second interest, metal music documentaries. I fucking love metal music. I'm a giant metalhead. And if you sometimes hear my phone going off during the videos, because sometimes I don't edit them out, my ringtone is the Arf Arf Knocked Loose. Found it funny, so I made it as my notification sound. With documentaries, I definitely see it. I like learning about some of the history of the bands that I listen to. Different game genres is number three. Pretty much anything gaming. I'm on the huge gaming side of YouTube, definitely. So I definitely understand that. Watching game reviews, I also like doing that. I like seeing people's opinions on the games that I play. So I like seeing both the positive and the negative, what what they say is amazing about the game, what they say is bad about the game, and of course most of the time it's constructive criticism. I try to stay away from the complete hate of the game and just stay more focused on the constructive criticism because I feel like that's most important. And then creepy stories. Now, stories in particular, I'm not too sure. I mean, I didn't really watch like any creepypastas or anything like that. Or it could also be categorizing like iceberg videos because I know I've watched quite a few of those over the years as well. It might be categorizing that into creepy stories. I guess this is just my first guess, but I do like watching those iceberg videos. Now, oh my god, I did not think 2,345 channels this year. That's a fucking lot. I did not think I watched that many. That might also come from YouTube Shorts, which I mean, I do tend to doom scroll sometimes, and we're not going to talk about that. And I'm also censoring a PFP because that person, if you are a part of that community, was not actually a good person the entire time. I watched them before it was revealed that they were a terrible person, but I'm not going to be giving them any of that credit because, again, terrible person. You might know what I'm talking about, you might not, but If you know, you know. Well, other than that, there's a lot of people on here. Yeah. Let's see. One Bub, Ryan Trahan, Toadbup, Rec Rap, Poofesher, Markiplier, Pick the Gamer, Jacksepticeye, Nick Nocturnal, Kentucky Ballistics, Luke the Notable, MK, Nile Red, Dr. Mike, Penguin to Zero, Looney, Opal and Sky, SB737, Sambucha. Oh, I think that's a side down there. Oh, and that as well as Judo Sloth. Now, my top 5 channels that I apparently watch the most over the year. The first is Jacksepticeye, which I'm not too surprised about, honestly. The second is Poofesher, also not surprised. Markiplier is third, and Kentucky Ballistics is fourth, and then Luke the Notable is fifth. I will say, mainly for Jacksepticeye, I have a TV in my room, and I have it connected to a Roku player, which I like having YouTube playing when I fall asleep. And the video that I tend to flock to the most, I suppose, is the giant fucking, like, 22-hour-long Happy Wheels video that Jacksepticeye had uploaded on April Fool's Day of 2024. I know that in 2024, Jacksepticeye was also my most watched content creator. But I mean, it's not even just like that one Happy Wheels video either. Like, I also watched some of the FromSoft games that he would play, those giant long plays. And Poofesher, you know, the funny guy raging at a kid's game on the Wii console. Markiplier, kind of the same thing with Jacksepticeye, because, I mean, if you've watched my previous video, you know why I prefer Mark and Jack as content creators, and usually why I watch them so much, as well as Poofesher. I will say, he's part of that category. Kentucky Ballistics, he is the greatest gun tuber out there. Survived a freaking fatal, potentially life-ending injury. Well, hey! Why did my screens turn off? But anyways, yes, Kentucky Ballistics came back from a fatal injury. Didn't let that injury influence what he did as a content creator. And now gets to shoot the biggest and most ridiculous guns the world has to offer. And it's fucking cool. And then Luke the Notable with his great 100 Days series. I watch those quite often as well. It's kind of crazy to know, though, because I was there since the beginning. I remember finding it on my YouTube recommended, saying 100 Days in Hardcore. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I haven't seen that. Let me check that out. And then it spiraled into what is probably soon to be 5,000 Days. Because, of course, at the time of recording, December 2nd, Luke has finished recording for 5,000 Days and is presumably editing it now. That will be very exciting to see. There was one channel you really showed up for, Jacksepticeye. There we go. There's him. Top 0.1% of viewers. You watched 278 of their videos this year. That's dedication. I need to check real quick. Like, how many videos does Jack actually have? Because I know it's a fuck ton. Because obviously he used to upload like twice a day at some point. And then had to stop for his own mental health. Yeah, 5.2k videos. That's a freaking lot. But again, a lot of that just comes from the Soulsborne games, as well as that one Happy Wheels video that I was talking about. In 2025, you showed many different sides of you. Let's see, Game Savvy. You really know your way around video games, from indie hits to big name releases. Obviously, you can see here, Undertale playthroughs. I guess I had a big Undertale phase, like maybe near the beginning of the year. And that one person that I refuse to mention now, I used to watch a lot of their videos back then, before I realized they were a bad person. Again, that like came out in November, like not even a month ago. The God of War series, I would watch a lot of playthroughs of God of War from different people, because obviously a lot of people experience the story differently. And I also just kind of like to watch the compilation videos, mainly of Mimir's stories, because Alistair Duncan as Mimir, chef's kiss. He does so fucking well, is playing someone who is just old and wise and has a lot of wisdom to share with many, many people. And then creepypasta games. I would assume that mainly comes from the 3 Scary Games series that Markiplier has on his channel. I also really love visiting those. Those are very good videos. Music lover. Your passion for music shines through, especially metal and alternative genres. There you go. Again, I'm a big metalhead. Metal album reviews mainly comes from Nick Nocturnal, before he decided to take that 6-month break. Very glad that Nick Nocturnal's back, by the way. I'm very happy. And of course, I would see other people's reactions mainly towards different albums and different songs that I love. Band interviews. I love seeing what different members of the band have to say. I think mainly the vocals, just the frontmen, but it is very cool to see, like, sometimes all band members participating, or different band members like the guitarist, the drummer, anything like that. And then the vocal analysis, I'm not gonna lie, this mainly comes from Will Ramos with Lorna Shore. Man can just fucking go batshit crazy whenever he wants to. And again, it's kind of crazy. Curious Explorer, you're always up for learning how things work, from science to technology. I do, actually. I would consider this pretty accurate. This comes from science experiments, tech tutorials, and engineering projects. Again, this most likely mainly comes from Nile Red. I also like watching a lot of his videos before going to bed and while I'm sleeping, because they're good background noise. I love sleeping with background noise. I can't really sleep well, just complete silence. I don't know why that is. I guess I'm just used to sleeping with noise all the time. The science experiments, of course, Nile Red. The tech tutorials, I would assume, comes from Tronics Fix, because I watched him quite a bit this year as well. I love seeing how he is able to fix a lot of the things. Oh, as well as... Oh, why did I forget the guy? Why did I forget his name all of a sudden?
A few moments later.
Salem Techsperts. That's who I was thinking about. Salem Techsperts. Greatest technician that ever lived. I watched a lot of his shorts. He's very, very entertaining. And then engineering products. I'm not quite sure where that would come from. That probably comes from just a slew of different channels that revolve around that content. Because sometimes I do go into like a little bit of a rabbit hole where I explore channels like Smarter Every Day that make crazy projects that are honestly pretty entertaining. The sides of you, though, those are the three sides that YouTube gave me, I suppose. You match nicely with one personality type. Ready to see which one? Okay, there's a lot down there. The Wonder Seeker, which is 18% of people. You're drawn to awe-inspiring content that shows extraordinary skills. You've watched game reviews and explored different game genres. Most compatible with the Adventurer and the Sunshiner, different personality traits. I would say that's pretty accurate. The people that are able to do insane things in games, I really enjoy, because I can just sit there being like, this guy has a lot more patience than I do. I would never actually be able to do that. Let's look back at some moments from your year. Early 2025. This feels like the entirety of 2025, but I guess this peaked in early 2025. Focused on gaming culture. You watched a lot of videos about gaming communities, reactions, and interesting game moments. Channels I watch. I'm not really sure MK would go into that gaming culture category. I mean, obviously, the MK team, they go delve into a bunch of subreddits. And occasionally, yes, gaming subreddits will pop up, but they're not really focused on gaming. They're just focused on the entirety of Reddit, really. And the Jacksepticeye Markiplier, very obvious, that fits right in. My mid-2025 phase, apparently, explored tech and science the most. You dove into videos about technology, science experiments, and how things are made. Channels I watched, Smarter Every Day, Nile Red, and Kentucky Ballistics. I feel all those fit in very well, because, of course, you know, with being a gun tuber, I mentioned Kentucky Ballistics in particular, he does a lot of science experiments. He does a lot of fun things with guns, obviously while being safe around them. He's not an idiot. And of course, the two science and engineering channels, Now Red, Smarter Every Day, makes perfect sense. No explanation needed. Late 2025, which is around right now, you followed travel content, exploring different places and cultures through videos. I mean, I'm not entirely sure. Ryan Trahan definitely fits into that category, but Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, definitely not. Of course, they fit in most with the gaming content, but I'm not sure why they're appearing with the travel vlogs, because obviously they don't really do any travel vlogs. So I'm not quite sure where YouTube's AI kind of got it from there. And there's the recap of the moments from my year. Didn't really watch travel vlogs a lot either. Let's see. When it came to games, you were all in. Correct. And my top games. The number one being Happy Wheels, of course. Talking about that one 22-hour-long Happy Wheels video from Jack. Minecraft. I watch a lot of Minecraft content as well. I think the sum of the crazy projects that Minecraft YouTubers can take on, complete, have the mental endurance to do so, respect it highly, especially people like Wunba. Like, holy hell, dude, that guy can pop the hell off. Undertale, for obvious reasons, but I think Deltarune kind of also goes with that category, because obviously Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 released this year. You know, I made my own video about it. A bunch of people made their videos about it, and I like to watch them. Wii Sports, this mainly comes from Professor, because obviously He does a lot of content on his Wii, really. And then God of War, I'm not gonna lie, I'm in my God of War phase right now. I've been kind of hyper fixated on that. Currently replaying 2018 on my computer. Been loving it. It is much better playing it on my computer rather than my PS4. Based on what you've watched, we've got an award for you. Ooh, I never get awards. The most likely to find the coolest glitch in a video game before everyone else. Unfortunately, I'm not that kind of guy. I don't usually try and break the video games as much as I can. I would leave that to someone else, but I mean, it would be cool to find a cool glitch before anyone else does and then upload it on YouTube. But unfortunately, I'm not fast, nor am I skilled enough for that, I feel like. Let's see, thanks for spending 2025 with us. That's the outro right here. Just the entire recap here. Yeah, okay. So the YouTube Rewind. I wouldn't say it was 100% accurate. It was definitely not 100% accurate, but it wasn't too bad. But also having YouTube's AI just kind of put everything together kind of makes some issues, because obviously from the inaccuracies, and YouTube's AI is very sketchy in general anyways. I'm sure you know the exact fucking reasons why, especially when it comes to the moderation. God, it needs to fucking get out of here. But I guess all in all, it wasn't too bad. I guess it felt a little underwhelming, but you know, I guess it's not supposed to be anything too special. It's just kind of a recap of the year. I know Spotify is going to be doing the exact same thing, and I will actually check if that has actually came out yet. Okay, it looks like for me, the Spotify recap has not come out yet. I'm not sure if it is out for anyone yet, but I will also do a video on that. So if you're like me and you enjoy metal, you might like to watch that. And hey, if it comes out at some point between now and Friday, I might try to incorporate it into this one, but we'll have to see. Well, it hasn't even been 24 hours and my Spotify Wrapped did indeed come out. So I might as well talk about my Spotify Wrapped as well. See here, 2025, we're ready for you, Heat Elite, come on down. You listened and we counted. 15,735 minutes total that I listened this year. That's 10 days. Nice. Tastes like yours can't be defined, but let's try anyway. You listen to 51 genres. I've been trying to expand a little bit, because I know for 23 and 24, I was mainly listening to just one band. I wasn't expanding to different genres. So I've been trying to make a habit of exploring different bands, and I feel like I'm getting a little bit better. My top genres: metalcore, deathcore, hard rock, video game music, and industrial metal. I think the video game music is coming from the Doom soundtrack, mainly the Dark Ages. Age is just a number, so don't...
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Really, you're gonna word it like that, Spotify? Good lord. So don't take this personally. Your listening age is 21. Since you were into music from the early 2020s, your taste is trending. I'm not gonna lie, this doesn't make sense. Okay, so I don't really know what this is supposed to mean. You listened to 355 songs this year, but can you guess your number one? Okay, so I listened to these songs quite a bit this year. I don't think it's Before You Go. I don't think I've listened to them that much. I'm torn between the other four, though. I'm not sure. I'm going to go with Blinding Faith, I guess. Oh, shoot, I actually got it. I was thinking it would be Empty the Gift, because the last 2 years, it was Empty the Gift that was on top. I listened to that song a lot. Even in 2023, I have proof. I listened to it like almost 2,000 times. I lost the proof. But I do know that Open Sky was my top honors for 2024 and 2023. Here they are right here. Blinding Faith is a fucking good one. I listened only 46 times though. Wow, that's kind of surprising. Okay, my top songs. Wow, I listened to Before You Go more than Empty the Gift. I guess it was almost listening 2,000 times in 2023 that really just made me stop. But still a fantastic song. It's, my opinion, Open Sky's best song. Let's see, Blinding Faith number 1, Oblivion number 2. Oblivion is a fucking banger. I put that on repeat quite a bit. I think Prison of Flesh is a little bit better than Oblivion. They're both absolutely amazing. Well, I mean, the entirety of I Feel the Ever Black Festering Within Me is a banger. I think Personal Flesh is the top. I would assume that would be near the top as well. Number 3, Suffocate. Suffocate is also very good. Before You Go by Archers, a lot more mellow. And then Empathy of the Gift. So you made a playlist of all my favorite songs. I'll look at that later. I'll listen to a total of 15 albums this year. Just 15? Is it only talking about like the full entire album? And it's just not including singles? My top album, You Won't Go Before You're Supposed To. I listened to it for 846 minutes. You Won't Go Before You're Supposed To is also an absolute banger. I would assume that the second would either be Dream Shift by Upland Sky or Everblack or Lord of Shore. Because, of course, Everblack only came out in September, so I didn't have the entire time to listen to that. And then You Won't Go Before You're Supposed To came out in 2024. Oh, yeah, right here. Okay. First is You Won't Go Before You're Supposed To, obviously. The second is Unyielding Night by Assemble the Chariots. That actually makes sense. Assemble the Chariots is pretty similar to Lorna Shore. I started listening to that before I started listening to Lorna Shore, so that makes sense. And then there's Dream Shift by Upland Sky. Scoring the End of the World by Motionless in White. Also a fantastic album. That came out in 2022. I started getting more into Motionless this year. And then Reminiscence by D Back to Dawn. That band only has like 60 monthly listeners, but they're very good. They're based in Tokyo. They're not quite kawaii metal like baby metal would be, but they're still very good. Probably my only complaint is I can't hear the vocals very well, but I will chalk that up to the fact that the vocalist is obviously Japanese, so there's going to be that accent coming in. Let's see. I listened to 113 artists this year, and these 5 are extra special. Olympus Sky, Some of the Chariots, Baby Metal, Knocked Loose, and Motionless in White. That's not too surprising. But who claimed the top spot? Let's just see. Oh. It looks like it's gonna be Knocked Loose. Yeah, I do love my Knocked Loose. Knocked Loose was my top artist. I spent 2,132 minutes with them, which makes you a top 0.1% global fan. Okay. We made a leaderboard for superfan like you. I would assume I'm still not ranking very high up. Yeah, 8,039. You're the number 8,039 top listener of Knocked Loose globally. Welcome to the big leagues. I don't know about that, but okay. My top artists: Knocked Loose, Some of the Chariots, Upland Sky, Motionless in White, and Baby Metal. That makes sense, honestly. Again, I listen to a lot of Some of the Chariots, still listen to a lot of Upland Sky. Motionless, kind of more recently got into, and then Baby Metal I've been into for a while as well. All of your listening made you part of something bigger. Which club do I belong to? I belong to the Grit Collective. Your club believes there's rebellion through music. There's no rulebook. And I'm the supporter role. Your listening favors one artist, ensuring they're heard around your club. Fair enough. I put a lot of my artists on repeat. Like, I love listening to all of them. You're in great company. 9% of global listeners are in your club. Club favorites: Upland Sky, Motionless in White, Lorna Shore, Knocked Loose, Alt-T, and Sleep Token. Fair enough. I didn't listen to Alt-T very much this year either. But I did listen to Sleep Token as well, especially with Even in Arcadia. That's a great album. 25. Time for your victory lap. And if you're not ready for rap to be over, well... Oh, yeah, here's the little thing. I'll probably post that in one of my Discord servers. One more thing. Alright, we pulled some of your files just in case. I hope they don't find the homework folder. Let's see. New Year's Day. Listening report for you delete. The day you rang in the new year with 83 tracks of pure metal mayhem. You rang in the new year with a night-long onslaught. Motionless in White, Knocked Loose, Baby Metal, and Assemble the Chariots traded the stage with Through the Fire and Flames and Ratatata breaking the Midnight Barrier. That's crazy. 319 minutes, 83 tracks, 41 artists. Your loudest New Year's Day all year. Filed under New Year Headbang Absolute Bangers. Oh yeah, absolute bangers, of course. And I would assume that would be because we were traveling back from seeing some family from Arizona, and I live a long way from Arizona, so I was almost certainly just blasting some metal through my headphones. Let's see, January 2nd, the day you let Knocked Loose run the entire playlist. Overnight, Knocked Loose took the lead, appearing on nearly every hour, from Suffocate to Blinding Faith and Thirst. Baby Metal, Open Sky, and Assemble the Chariots, traded off in High Octane Relay, with 85 minutes of Knocked Loose anchoring your biggest top artist day. 727 minutes, 192 tracks, 52 artists, your most devoted Knocked Loose chapter of the year. Mosh Pit Marathon and relentless repeats. Again, I love Knocked Loose. I love how angry all of it sounds, and I love how angry Brian's screaming voice is. It's kind of funny, because it took me a while at first to get into Knocked Loose, but I guess after a bit, I'm like, wait, this shit's good. Okay, my monitor's turned off again. Now, my birthday on February 20th. Yes, that's my birthday. I will soon be 18. That doesn't sound right. I mean, it's correct, but it still doesn't sound right. The day you celebrated with a wall of sound. Your birthday opened with a full throttle assault, Knocked Loose and Assemble the Chariots traded riffs all morning, with Sleep Token and Baby Metal crashing in by afternoon. Even AC/DC and Twisted Sister snuck in a cameo. 61 minutes, 20 tracks, 14 artists, your birthday. Yes, birthday. Your birthday scored by pure volume. Filed under Mayhem Morning and Birthday Bangers. Absolute birthday bangers, bro. May 10th, the day you let the riffs run until sunrise and beyond. The biggest music listening day, apparently. You ran a full relay through the night, cycling from the final countdown by Europe to Baby Metal, Sleep Token, and Assemble the Chariots, with Knocked Loose never far behind. Even as dawn crept in, the riffs kept rolling. 203 tracks, 52 artists, and 813 minutes, your most relentless listening day of the year. I don't remember what about May 10th was specific. It might have been when my high school was going to conference golf, because I'm part of my high school golf team as well. Let's see here. The most nostalgic day. The day you marched through memory lane and then some. From late evening into early morning, you stacked Baby Metal, Knocked Loose, and Finishing Move Inc. Those are the people behind the Doom of the Dark Ages soundtrack, by the way. And a marathon of mayhem, with All the Way I Believe in Steve as a rare gleeful throwback in the chaos. 563 minutes, 144 tracks, 56 artists. Your most nostalgic day with a nod to the past amid the noise. Filed under late night nostalgia and throwback chaos. Interesting. Okay. And I'm also going to go into the top songs of 2025. Blinding Faith with 46 listens. Oblivion has 44, Suffocate 43, Before You Go 40, Empathy 39, Mistakes Like Fractures, another absolute banger, 38, Slaughterhouse also 38, Slaughterhouse 2, 37, Deeper Than Will 37, Equinox 37, Rochester 37, Blood Will Have Blood 36, yada yada yada, you get the point. And it goes all the way down to Rollin' Air Raid Vehicle by Limp Bizkit, which is 16 listens. I was also getting a little bit into Limp Bizkit this year as well, but that came a lot more later. Yeah, I guess that's my year completely wrapped up in both YouTube and Spotify. Here you go. I mean, I guess there's not really anything much more to that, so yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. My name is Elite. I will see you later.